Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Sheryl, the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and I'm here to share a fun little card that I made using my Lisa Horton Crafts inks and some products from LDRS Creative. So let's go ahead and get going with the product that we have. So for my inks this week, today, I have three matte blending inks. I've got Woodland Moss, Pina Colada, and Sugar Candy. And this is almost the color combination that Lisa Horton Crafts has for the month of February. The only difference is they don't have the Woodland Moss. It's the, oh, what is it? It's one of the blue, Surfs Up is the other one. So these are the products that I'm going to be using. And I've got the inks that I'm going to be using. And then from LDRS Creative, I love Dahlias. And I saw this stamp set and I really did think it was so pretty. I love the big, huge dahlia. And then the fonts are, have, mixed fonts on this stamps and on this sentiments, and I just love that. So they've got some really beautiful sentiments. Wishing you a wonderful day. You're such a delight. Thinking of you today and always. Hope this brings a little happiness. Here's to a day full of smiles, and here's something to brighten your day. So I really love those sentiments and I love the stamp. So I said, let's go ahead and get it. And then it has with it, you can get layering stencils to coordinate with the dies. I think there are 3 stencils in here, but I'll pull those out and we'll be using those. And there are dies to coordinate. It cuts out the big stamped floral, and then the sentiments, you can die cut those out as well. And then for my background, I'm using Spellbinders dimensional 3D dimensional diamonds 3D embossing folder. Boy, I'm struggling this evening with my words. I think I'm a little more tired than I thought I was. But so those are the products that I'm going to be working with tonight. And then I've also got my sample. So you can see I did some foiling on this one and inked the floral panel up. And I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see the embossing when I hold it up closer, and added some little ribbon and my sentiment. So that is the project that we're going to make today. And let me get started. Let me see. I did do some of the work ahead of time. So this card is I think this is 5 by, let me measure. I think it's 5 by 6.5, I do believe. Yeah, it's a 5 by 6.5. So I did already heat emboss this this big dahlia onto white cardstock, and then I embossed my panel again using the Spellbinders 3D dimensional diamonds 3D embossing folder. So that's what I did there. So we'll go ahead and get started with the inking of this panel. I'll pull out my sticky mat over here. Should have did this earlier. It's going to make a lot of noise. Sorry about that. Wasn't thinking about that when I was prepping. Okay, so I've got my little sticky mat and my inks, and I'm going to start. I don't know if let me get these stencils out. There's 3 stencils in these delightful dahlias by LDRS Creative. And so the first stencil just puts down a layer of background color onto the image. So we're going to start with that. And let me get this lined up. I try to keep my head out of the camera view here. And it's really, well, it's really easy to line it up. That looks pretty good. And I think I got enough around it. It'll stick, the stencil will stick and not move too much on me. So I think we're good there. And I'm going to start with a layer of the Pina Colada. I'm just going to take a big blending brush and just go over the whole panel with just getting a nice little coloring of the yellow down. I gotta watch this little piece here because it wants to flip up on me. I love these big blending brushes. I've got some from Pink Fresh and Spellbinders and Lisa Horton's. I have everybody's big brushes. And it just depends on which one I used first. I think I have more Pink Fresh just because they came out before Lisa got hers out. But I have a lot of hers, but any of the inks that I used before I got my Lisa brushes are Pink Fresh because I'm always using Lisa's inks. So let's see. I think that's nice, good enough. It doesn't have to be perfectly colored. I just want a little light coating there because we're going to continue to add color as we move along. Okay, so for the second one, we're going to focus on the inside colors of the flower, of these flowers. So I just want to make sure I get this lined up properly. And that looks pretty good. So go ahead and put that down. And then I'm going to bring in the sugar candy. And we'll add that. We'll start at the center and work our way out. I'm going to leave most of the, you know what? No, before I do that, I'm going to put another layer of the Pina Colada down because I want this color to be a little, this, I'm telling you, I have been doing this for the last 2 weeks. Oh, let me get a rag here and see if I can get some of that ink off of my ink pad. I can't believe it. And of course, it's the only Pina Colada I have. So, well, it's going to have a pink hue to it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and add this next layer of color down. And it's still going to be Pina Colada, but it's going to be a little deeper and it'll differentiate a little bit because of the way the stencil is built. It'll keep some of that light color on the tips of the petal. And so we're just adding another layer of this yellow down on the dahlia. So you'll be able to see 2 different yellows on those petals. Okay, so we have that. Now we can use our sugar candy. I said I've got to pay attention with my brushes. So on this, let me wipe a little bit of this yellow off of the stencil. And then I'll go ahead and start in the center with the yellow and just go out and about just a little bit, not all the way out to the tip, but just a little bit there. Most of the way, I guess I should say, is a better way to describe that. And just get so we're going to get like a little orangey color there. And this one, I think I'm going to use a smaller brush because I don't want the whole thing to be this sugar candy color. So put that down like that. And then I'm going to come back in the center and just deepen that center just a wee bit more on all of these. And then, let's see. I think that's good. I might come out just a little bit right around here. On the centers. So just to have a little different grade of color. And then I'm going to wipe the excess ink off of my foil. I want it to stay inky. Okay, so that's it for stencil number 2. And now you can see what I was talking about with the some of the lighter yellows staying on those petals by putting down that second coat of the Pina Colada. So you've got 2 different shades there of the same color. And then the last little bit of inking that we need to do, let me put these back and bring out my Woodland Moss, which is I think this is probably my favorite green in Lisa's line. I just love this green. Anytime I'm looking for green, I always seem to graduate to this one because it just coordinates really nicely with just about any color. And I did, I can't remember if it was this week or it was last week's blog. On my blog, Elegant Sentiments, I did a little blurb about green being nature's matchmaker in terms of color. And I love all the shades of green. I think that's why I love trees so much. So we're just going to work our way around all these leaves and blending that color out to the tips where they're almost white. And these will be pretty leaves if you wanted to have multicolored leaves. This would be a nice stencil for that. Add a couple of different shades of green. But we're going to keep it nice and simple today and just go with the one color. We're just working our way all the way around the stencil. And this is another thing, that this is a really quick and easy one, which of course I love. And almost finished with the inking. Really quick. Everybody's pretty quiet tonight. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. It's always fun when you're not crafting by yourself. Okay. All right. So wipe some of this ink off of my foiling. And that panel is inked. It really goes very quickly, which I love. Okay, let me pull this off. And I'll hold it up so you can see with the foiling on there. It gives it a really nice, elegant look, I think. So the next thing we want to do is pull out the dies, and we'll die cut this big piece and get our sentiment together, and it'll be done quick and easy. And so it's just one piece, again, which I love. And I'm going to take my time here with this, making sure that I get it lined up really well all the way around, because it is the definite focal point of the card. So I'm just looking at all the areas and making sure that I've got them and everything evenly spaced there. It looks pretty good. Nope. Wait a minute. Just moved it. All right. I'm still going to be off. I can see this one little corner up here. Try not to put too much tape on the actual image because it is foiled. So, but I want to get a lot of tape on this because this is a pretty substantial die. I don't want it sliding around because it's already sliding just with my hands. And I'm just using a bit of low tack tape here to keep this die in place. Okay, why not go for the overkill? Okay, so we got plenty there, and I'm just gonna pop this in I've got a Platinum 6 over here off screen, and I'm just using the standard sandwich with the base and the platform top and two cutting plates to cut this. There we go. Die machine back. And then for my sentiment, I chose the same as my sample, wishing you a delightful day. And there's our little die cut. And what I want to do now is I'm going to add this to my card front. I'm going to add it to, no, let me put this piece on first. So I'll put this panel onto my card base, and then I will, then I'll add that big floral piece. And the back side of this embossing is just as pretty as the front, but I like having the bigger grooves in the front, so that's why I opted to put it on this way. But it's nice either way you put it. And try and get this straight. Okay, and then I'm going to burnish this back a little bit, just to make sure we have good connection. All right. So there's our front, and then I'm going to just put this on. I'm going to angle it a little bit, and I'll be gluing that down like that. So let me find my glue here. Hope you're having a good week. It's almost over. It was rainy here in Central Ohio today, but it was warm, so I am not complaining. I'll take the rain. It's a little early for April showers, but that's okay. We'll take it. It's not snow, so that makes me happy. And it's nice and warm. So I'm just gluing all around, trying to make sure I get these points, sticky out points, pretty good so that we get some good adherence on this. And then we'll stick this down. Right about like that, I'm thinking. I'm going to hold that with my hands for just a minute or two or less, just long enough for it to adhere, because it is adhering to a raised panel. I think that's pretty good. And look at that. I just love those colors together. I love the gold. And I think the black makes it pop. I did another one earlier that was a little lighter. I'll show you that in a second. And I think I preferred the background. I used more monochromatic colors. And so for this one, let's see, I get my little pieces out here. I just can't grab it. There we go. So I did go ahead and I heat embossed in, I inked it with black ink and then heat embossed it with clear. And then I cut a blank out of gold matte gold cardstock. And I'm just going to layer that sentiment up like that so it has a little teeny shadow to it. And I'll be using some glue dots to put this down. Not glue dots, foam squares. You can tell I'm really tired today. Been a long, busy day, but a good day nonetheless. Okay, so that's our sentiment. And then I'm going to add some ribbon. So let me find my foam squares. Where did I put those? So I need a couple foam squares, and my ribbon is here, and a piece of tape. So let's see. This is I've had this ribbon for a while. I think it's Stampin' Up. Yep, shimmer ribbon from Stampin' Up. And I just thought it was really pretty. I don't know how much I need, so I'll just cut a piece. And I'm just going to kind of put it like that. So I'll just put some tape down where I want that piece of ribbon to go. And I think I want it right kind of in the center here. In the center, well, in between, not the center, but in between these two flowers. So I'll just put my ribbon down onto the tape. I don't want it too, I want it long, but not too long. I think that'll be about right. Like that. And then put our other piece up. And then I can trim the edges as I need to. And then I'm going to use some foam squares on the back of my sentiment to put it up. Let me recap my glue. I got a mess. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Goodness gracious, I got brushes and ink and everything. But this is this is how I craft when I'm crafting by myself. I got stuff everywhere, but I need to do better when there's company. So let me get some, I need my scissors. Let me get some of this out of the way. Okay, so we're down to the stuff we really need. Okay. So I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of this little of my sentiment. Don't need a whole bunch, but just enough to keep it raised. And the ribbon is kind of thin, so I'm not worried too much about going over the ribbon with it. And I've got 2 pieces of, this is pretty heavyweight cardstock, so my sentiment panel is pretty sturdy. Not worried about it at all. I think it'll mail just fine too. So there we go. And then we just want to make sure that I get this down here straight. Kind of put it in between. And that looks, make sure my card is straight. And that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead and commit, and then I'll trim these just a little bit. If I can pick it up, I'll trim it. And we'll trim this. And then the last thing I want to do to finish this off is add some gold pearls. And these are Stampin' Up! Ones too. I'm going through and all the stuff that I've got in my stash, I said I'm using it up, and that's what we're doing. So we are just going to add a few little gold pearls around some of the leaves. I'll do a couple over here. Put one there. And I like doing them in 3s, but not necessary. And where else? We'll do some up at this flower at the top. Put 3 of them here. There you go. Get this out of the way. Bring it in a little closer so you can see it. But this is the finished card with the gold. And then I did do the one I was telling you about earlier, the more monochromatic. I used, this is one of the metallic inks. I can't remember which one. I think it's not Copper Pot. It might be Roll. I don't know which one this is. This might be, yes, this is Copper Pot. And then I just used the use that for the center, and then I did a light green on the background. So there's 2 different same design, obviously, but just done a little differently. So thank you so much for being here. I need to announce the winner for the comments. For people that comment on my lives, whether you comment during the actual live or if you do it on a replay, if you leave me a comment, I put your name in a drawing, and I draw the first Thursday of the month. I draw for the winner, and the winner gets they'll get a pack of my cards, and they'll also get some new items that I have in my stash. I have lots of things that I tend to see something and forget I bought it and buy it again. So I'm sharing all of those products with the people that watch my channel, just as a little way to say thank you. So I appreciate you being here. And the winner for February is Carmen Nance. So Carmen, if you see this, please email me at Sheryl at elegantsentiments.com and give me your mailing address so I can get your packet mailed off to you. And you have until next Wednesday. So that would be Wednesday, March 11th. So just email me when you see this, and congratulations. Thank you for watching and for commenting. I appreciate every bit of feedback that I get. So be sure to check out my blog. You can find that at elegantsentiments.com, and also on Facebook. I have a page there, Elegant Sentiments Limited. So be sure to check me out in all those places and like and subscribe everywhere. And thank you again. I appreciate you. I hope that you find some time this week to craft a little kindness of your own, and have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.